Women are interested in men based on three criteria. The first is their ability to signal resources. The second is intelligence. And the third is kindness. It doesn't matter how rich or how smart you are. If you're an asshole or you're not kind, people eventually don't want you as a mate. And unfortunately, online, it's very difficult to signal 2 and 3, so you can signal 1. And when everyone has access to everyone, women who have a much finer filter for mating, because the downside of sex is so much greater for them if they get pregnant, so they have a much finer filter. They end up all being drawn or expressing interest to a much smaller group of individuals. So what the dynamic is, you have 50 men on Tinder, 50 women on Tinder. 46 of the women will express all of their interest to just 4 men, which leaves 46 men vying for the attention of just 4 women. So if you apply the Gini coefficient to online dating, it's got the same Gini coefficient as income inequality in Venezuela. So mating inequality is greater than income inequality in Venezuela. And what it leads to is what I call Porsche polygamy. And that is the men who are the top 10% in terms of attractiveness online get 90% of the interest. So that does not lead to good behavior or establishing long-term relationships. Kind of 50 to 90 percentile do okay, but the bottom half of attractiveness of men based on online attractiveness are totally shut out of the market.
Women really want from men. They want men to be available, to allow them to feel significant, but to prioritize them. And that means that we need to be consistent as men. We need to show up in our response to challenge and difficulty in consistent ways. If we show up in volatility and reactivity, we don't have control of our faculties. We're not really present to the situation. We're being dictated to by past events within our psychology, and we're letting that leak out in the present moment. We become untrustworthy in those moments. And so what do women really want? Consistency, presence, to know that they matter enough for that man to do his inner work, to look at himself and to prioritize the well-being of himself and his partner. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What would you add to this?
Girls like guys who make this clear. If you're interested in dating, you need to understand this first. There's one thing girls secretly care about even if they say otherwise. They care a lot about making your boundaries clear and sticking to them. For example, if you don't want your girlfriend going to the club alone, make it clear. Then, you also have to stick to it and not let it slide. If you break your boundary even one time, it shows your boundaries mean nothing. She will lose respect for you and your relationship will slowly start to fade. This might sound unflattering, but it's just the honest truth. Make sure you respect what you want in your relationship. Girls actually prefer guys who know what they want, even if they don't want to admit it. I made a free guide to help you guys become more attractive. Click the link in my bio.
Want to know what women really want in a relationship, which in turn then gives the men what they crave? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you the best analogy I have ever heard in my life, referring to the dynamics of a relationship between a man and a woman. And it goes a little something like this. I call it the flag and pole analogy. You're going to want to stick around for this one. It's a goodie. So in this analogy, the man is the pole. He stands tall. He's strong. He's reliable. He's predictable. He is grounded. The woman in this analogy is the flag, and she's beautiful in all of her colors. She is blowing in the wind in whichever direction it takes her in all of her fabulous feminine delight. She is giddy and almost looks like she's dancing in that wind. Sometimes she's down, and sometimes she's flying high in all of her vibrant, beautiful self. When the flag and the pole come together, they represent something bigger than themselves. There is nothing more that men crave than to bask and be submerged in the feminine energy. It is nurturing. It is soft. It is sweet. It is also brave and can be wild and unpredictable. The giddiness of her laugh and the melting in her eyes when she looks at him is all that they want. And now, with independent, strong women coming into the play, the flags are just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, which means that the pole needs to be stronger to sustain that amount of feminine energy that's going to come his way. You see, a woman needs these traits in a man so that she is reassured time and time again that she is safe in his hands, that she is better than okay. She good. Because if not, that whole pole flag situation is going to crumble. Because he doesn't have the amount of strength it's going to take to make sure she flies high.
Here are the 3 things that women look for in men that you need to have. Boundaries. Although women often act like they don't want a man that controls them, this is false. I want a man that draws a line in the sand. I respect a man that's willing to walk away at any moment if I'm not reciprocating the respect that he deserves. Mutual respect is what makes a relationship worthwhile. Masculinity. Women are generally drawn to masculine men because masculinity is associated with strength, confidence, and assertiveness. These traits provide a sense of security and protection for women. Oftentimes, these masculine traits are linked to high testosterone levels, and there are many environmental factors that impact modern men's T levels, like your daily hygiene products, work schedules, sleep, food, and much, much more. So I took matters into my own hands to give you healthier alternatives. I will be releasing my own line in collaboration with He Grooming on April 8th at 10 a.m. Eastern, and their lines sell out quickly. So sign up at the link in my bio to receive updates. You won't want to miss it. Drive and purpose. Having drive and purpose can also be indicative of other positive traits such as responsibility, confidence, and discipline. I'm drawn to these qualities because I want to make a man more successful, not drag him along and mother him through his life. Additionally, these men are usually better conversationalists because they have interesting things to talk about. Having a passion for something that he is willing to share with others can create deeper connections and more meaningful conversations.
Female psychology. What do women really want from men?
Women do want a man who is kind and nice, but above that, they want a man who's masculine. Somebody who can disagree when he feels like disagreeing. Somebody who can lead. And leading her doesn't mean telling her what to do. It simply means saying, Let's go here for dinner. Let's do this. And if she doesn't want to, no problem. Then you'll have a conversation on eye level, but you take the initiative. She wants somebody who's grounded enough in his own sense of identity as a man that he's not too emotionally reactive to her.
Women in general are always afraid. And men also need to stop demonizing this attribute in women because it's true about women. Women need constant reassurance, constant security, and stability. Now, when a woman accepts that she constantly needs reassurance and security, then she will start doing things in order to feel that reassurance and security, to not be burdensome with it. And the way that you don't become burdensome with your need to be secure all the time is by accepting that that's who you are. And when you do that, you start communicating that to others, and then now they don't go, oh, she's a crazy bitch. She's a woman who needs love and affection.